everybody, my name is Renee Burns and I am excited to present Module 1 for our Supervision and Evaluation of School Personnel. My professional experience has all been here in Hays. I'm not from Hays originally, but I got my undergrad here at Fort Hays State University and was lucky enough to get hired by the district and have stayed because I love it so much. So my experience has all been at O'Laughlin Elementary, and I just finished my 13th year. I started in the 4th and 5th grade loop, and now I've moved down to the 2nd and 3rd grade loop. And that's a really cool thing. If you're interested in learning anything about looping school, just send me a message and I'd love to share. It's a wonderful thing. I am a part of the building leadership team, foundations team, and then I also create our morning news segment, our daily news segment that goes out. And that's usually geared more towards the social emotional learning. And then being here in Hays, I definitely utilize the college with the mentoring of student teachers and interns. I am a huge proponent for that, and I learned so much from them. It kind of keeps me current on my toes because I'm getting closer to what's considered a veteran teacher, and I don't want to be stuck in my ways. So I love that I have that option to continue my learning through seeing those young teachers come through and how excited they are for learning, and all with technology. That's been a huge thing, is to keep me on my toes with that. So I've learned a lot through the mentoring program there. My personal life is consisting of those two little boys right there, Brody and Byron. They keep me on my toes. My husband and I met in children's literature class here at Fort Hays State University, and the rest is history. He taught for a while and then became a counselor and is now a director of the CAMS program on campus at Fort Hays. We were so lucky to both get hired right off the bat, and that's why we've stayed here. It's just a good spot between grandparents as well, so that's part of the reason why we've stayed. We love the Chiefs, and this last Super Bowl was something really special, and we're already preparing for this upcoming year. And then we also like to travel. We love the national park system, and so our goal was to make sure that we go to all the national parks before our boys graduate from school. I don't know if it's going to happen. We were scheduled to go to 4 this summer, and we had to cancel them all. So bummed about that, but we understand and want to keep everybody safe, so we're spending our summer at home. This assignment was looking at how to promote or develop safe and effective collaborative professional cultures. And so these 4 categories were kind of hard to separate. In my opinion, they kind of overlapped a little bit, but it was a useful thing for us to sit down and think about how to separate them and the strategies that we have in place to make sure that all of these things are happening. So for staff improvement, we use PLCs, or professional learning communities, and that's a great way to learn from one another and to ask questions and learn from each other. Growth mindset and reflective mindsets. We teach our kids all about growth mindset, and I feel like teachers learn so much from that. Any adult learns so much from that mindset as well, but also just taking the time to reflect on what worked, what didn't work, professional learning opportunities, and then I think it's very important to have common vision and goals throughout your staff. So when we have a shared vision and we kind of all know where we're headed and what we're working towards, that makes a huge difference, and the success is evident of that. So retention, staff retention. I've been kind of not impressed with our mentoring program here, especially when I came through. I was assigned a mentor, but then I also had my own little mentors here and there, little pockets of people that helped me out. So I definitely think, a huge part of teacher retention is having that effective mentor program, not only for new teachers, but veteran teachers as well. What we have in place is for our new teachers, we utilize the free mentoring program that the state provides, but one thing that we do in my building that I really like is that we have buddy classrooms, and that's for all teachers, just to have that support system. So if I need any support, I have a buddy class or a buddy teacher that I go and get help from And they're kind of, and just another way to call them a mentor. Professional learning communities are a huge part of teacher retention. Our intervention team is, I feel, critical for teacher retention. Like, I think so many teachers feel like it's their job to fix the behaviors or, the academic needs. But the beautiful thing about an intervention team is you come with, the things that you need help with, and that team sits there and spends the time that you need to pick out interventions that are working or may work or are not working, and go through the books that are this thick of interventions. I know we have the CHAMPS books, and they're just overwhelming. But when you sit down and have a team to look through and go through it together, I think that really makes you feel that you're not alone. And then immediate feedback is one that I feel like, we have all these walkthroughs and observations. And if you're not sitting down and having a conversation or getting that immediate feedback, it's really not all that helpful. So I feel like that's a huge part of improvement, learning, retention, and your well-being, to get the immediate feedback right away. Learning opportunities for professional growth, that's huge. Not only, the workshops you can go to, but now so much of it's online, and so that's really helpful. Growth mindset and reflective mindset, we've already talked about that, but that definitely goes into the learning category. Appropriate use of resources is one that I felt like fit nicely here, and not necessarily, when I think about resources, I'm thinking about time. That's a huge resource that I feel like is lacking sometimes. So just having the time to devote to learning or improvement is a huge one. And then passion projects. I know in our building, everybody has something that they're really good at or that they care deeply about. And so, like delegating those things to, like for me, it's the morning news program. So I love technology and I love making videos and social emotional learning. And so I've kind of combined all those things, and I'm sharing those things with the entire staff. And so everybody, like one group has career day. That's their passion project, and they spend a lot of time on that. So just utilizing everybody's strengths and making sure that they can devote their passion to their project. And then well-being, an effective mentor program, again, so that those teachers feel like they are not alone. Social committee, we have an amazing social committee, and they make sure that everyone's taken care of. Doesn't matter if you're a teacher, custodian, secretary, nurse, you all feel like you have a crucial part of our students' learning and feel appreciated and loved. Professional learning communities, again, and the social emotional curriculum is huge for this. And I know that that's really geared towards the students, but when you're constantly teaching that, that's also going into your subconscious. And I feel like, those little lessons, although they seem pretty primary or elementary, they really do a huge benefit to adults as well. So what role does relationships, trust, and well-being have when it comes to a safe and effective professional culture? I feel like it's everything. Relationships is kind of, I just think, the cornerstone, I guess the most important, but you cannot have relationships if you don't have trust. And also you have to be taking care of yourself before you can worry about devoting or sacrificing your own time to help others and to build those relationships. You have to take care of yourself as well. So I feel like relationships is really the pedestal, but then you have to have trust and well-being in order for you to build relationships and to be genuine and caring for others. You have to have trust and well-being taken care of. With a safe and effective professional culture, what kind of comes from that? Like what happens when you have a safe and effective professional culture? Well, students and staff are willing to take risks. I think that's huge, especially when you understand that failure is part of learning. You really turn a corner there. Feeling comfortable sharing your success and strengths. You can acknowledge your weakness and strive to improve, and you recognize where improvements can be made, and that's when you begin to problem solve. And that's really a beautiful moment when your team can sit down or your staff can sit down and point out, okay, here's the problem, and what are we going to do to fix it? and you have that really healthy discussion where you can problem solve and work to make your students thrive, your school thrive, and your staff thrive. I can't wait to learn from you all. I hope you all have an excellent summer, and I look forward to learning from your experiences. Have a good day.